I remember when I was a boy, I watched a video on a game called Yakuza 0, and I knew that I had to get it. So I went down to my local Speedway, and I bought a PlayStation card. And with it, I went home and I bought Yakuza Kiwami. And I don't think I regret that very much. Because since that day, I've loved the series, and now I'm proud to say that I own all of the mainline games, like all the main ones. But why did I choose to buy more of the Yakuza games? There are plenty of other games with hand-to-hand combat and fun characters, so why Yakuza? And that today, my friends, is what I hope to answer for you. And I think to answer that question, I have to first start with the story. The story of Yakuza is about a man named Kazuma Kiryu. Sometimes there are others, but mainly it's about him. He's an ex-Yakuza member who wants nothing but to leave his past behind, but somehow he always gets dragged back into the Yakuza. So from there, of course, there has to be a reason for him getting pulled into spats of the Tojo clan. So for example, in Yakuza 3, Kiryu starts his own orphanage, but the land that the orphanage is on is owned by the Yakuza. So he helps the family so that he could keep his land. It doesn't seem like the most complicated story ever, but oh my god, sometimes the games just get so convoluted and full of twists and turns that it's like solving a mystery when you finally understand everything. And the feeling of satisfaction when Kiryu pummels some jerk who's been a pain in your ass for the whole game feels so good. And I think that's what sets this game apart for me with its story. Every fight feels meaningful. Kiryu wouldn't have a boss fight with some guy for no reason. There's always build-up, usually in the form of a long cutscene, that makes you want to beat up the guy even more. Speaking of beating people up, the gameplay, to me, is easy to learn and fun to master at its best. Fights will consist of you basically using square to do a light attack, then pressing triangle to do a finisher. You can block with L1 and dodge with X. Along with this, you can also use heat moves that use your meter underneath your health to execute a few special abilities. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to showcase a few of my favorite right now. Those are just some of my favorites from a few of the games in the series, but they vary from different people and games. And another cool thing that varies from each game are boss fights, which are enemies with huge health bars who you pretty much have to learn their patterns so you can counterattack. But one of the coolest things about the fights are the quick time events, where the boss will use some kind of special move and you have to press the button at the right time to dodge it. I'd like to show you a few of those that are some of my favorite right now.
Go to hell. Come on.
that was just a taste of the QuickTime events in the Yakuza franchise. There are so many other ones in so many different games, but I really like those because it makes the bosses in question feel like people, like they have their own heat moves and styles, but we're just too skilled to get hit by them. And that overall brings me to the end of my section on combat. I'd like to move on finally to just some general statements, closing statements about the game. Yakuza, for me, is the perfect balance between awesome gameplay and a great story. And with so many games out in the series, it seems like the perfect game for someone who would love awesome hand-to-hand combat. And hell, I'd even comment on all the mini-games. They could warrant a whole other video. There's bowling. There's darts. There's a personal favorite, karaoke. You can dance the night away at disco. Or you can race. And again, that was just a taste of some of the mini-games. There are so many more just fun and interesting and wacky mini-games, and it's all so hard to keep track of. And that's why I love this series so much. There's so much going on that all works so well together that I just can't help but love it to pieces. And with the next game in the series, Yakuza 7, coming out very soon, I think there's a whole heck of a lot more for me and many other Yakuza fans to get ready for. So that's it. That's my first video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I worked really hard on it. If you have any criticism or complaints with the video, please tell me. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to get better in any way I can, and I can only do that with your guys' help. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll tune in the next time I make a video. Bye-bye.